So, this is Batmanny Emmanuel Lopez here with our most recent GED graduate, Jake. Jake, how's it going?
It's Jake, it's going. It's going.
Well, we wanted to thank you for taking the time to chat with us a little bit. We're going to be going over some quick questions that we are thinking of dubbing our Si Se Pudo interview. So, as you know, the Academy's name is Si Se Puede. Si Se Pudo, you did it. It was able to be done. You did the dang thing. And now we're here wanting to just have you reflect a little bit on your experience. Does that sound cool?
Yep.
Awesome. So, the first question I have for you is, what was your most enjoyable experience with Si Se Puede Academy?
I think I have. Can I list two?
Yeah.
Okay. So for my big two were just the community aspect, like a lot of our like community stuff, like just hanging out, talking about the movies, talking about like when we were watching La Mission, that was pretty
Hmm.
good. Like just being around the couch with everybody, just talking and enjoying and being able to get to know each other better. I think
Hmm.
that was a big thing for me. And that was really what drove me to be here as much as I possibly could, besides wanting to graduate and
Hmm.
be a full fledged adult, but also just being able to be in a community where it felt loving and accepting and very warm and inviting. That was a big thing for me specifically. And then, kind of stemming off of that, was the Glass Museum being out. I wish I could have been to more of them, but car issues and also just scheduling stuff was really holding me back for a little while, but I was glad I was able to at least go to the Glass Museum with you guys and be able to go down to Seattle and just have a good time and be able to spend one of my last days with you guys. I think that was a big moment for me, and I really got to enjoy just art, and that's a big part of my life. And I got to be able to not only share it with you guys, but also you guys were able to share it with me, and I thought that was a very impactful moment and one of my favorites, and always will be.
Love to hear that. Yes, that definitely was a great trip, and we're so grateful that you were able to make it. And the things you shared in general, wonderful things that could go on and on about. So the next question I have for you is, why did you choose Si Se Puede Academy and continue with Si Se Puede Academy? What kept you going?
So, first thing first was I was talking to my counselor. Her name was Miss Parody. We were speaking about my plans, and it was right after I turned 18, or maybe a couple of days. I was talking to her, and I said, "Hey, I have this plan. I want to get my GED. I don't think high school is it for me. I've had some biased teachers. I've been having just some tough luck, and I just don't feel motivated to do it. And if I really were to pull a rabbit out of my hat, I could have passed, but at that point, it was really just the decision of, do I want to spend another year in high school when anything that was keeping me there was just the community of friends I made and the few teachers that I was able to connect with. So the only things that were keeping me there I wouldn't have, and I would be almost, in my eyes, held back. So I was like, well, I'm going to see what my options were. So I talked to Miss Parody, which I almost didn't do. I almost just went to Highline and then kind of just figured it out on my own. But Miss Parody said, for the timeline that I have, I had a couple of options. And she said at the top of her list was El Centro. She's like, she gave me the pamphlet. She told me all this stuff. And she's like, she told me that it would be a good idea for me. She said that it's something that she could see me having a good time at, but she was nervous because she didn't know too much. She was like, but I think they are only they only cater to like Hispanic kids speaking Spanish, all that. And I was like, well, I may not look it, but I am Hispanic and I do have, you know, I have that in my blood, but I'm not Spanish speaking. I was conversational when I was younger. I was able to speak enough to save my life if I needed to, but the older I got, the less I used it. And then it kind of faded out of my repertoire in a sense. But, we continued to research. I think we emailed Elsa, and then we got a very speedy reply, and then me and you got into contact, and then we had our first little interview, and I liked the vibe. It was very cool. I think this was on like a Monday or a Friday, whenever it was,
Mhm.
like after I had school or something, and then I came in, and then you told me like it's either this or high school, and I was like, it was a big step. I was very nervous, and I was like, let's just get it done. Let's just do it. And then the first couple of days, I was still nervous of maybe because I don't I'm like I don't look Hispanic. I don't look like I have like my grandfather's blood in me. I was very nervous that it would be a bit of a disconnect because I don't look the quote unquote part. I don't speak the part. So it just, but then I was quick to find out that it was not the case. Even if I was 100% white, just this kid off the streets, it was still an accepting environment. I really enjoyed that, and I really connected with that. And then Profe, you, Elsa, it was very this. It was almost like a family, and that's something that I really enjoyed and something that I could find a home away from home in a sense. And that's something that I've always wanted. And if I were to ever be in some sort of education, that's something that I would strive for. Because I feel like, in a sense, the public school system failed me on multiple instances. When I was younger, once in middle school, and then once recently in high school. Not once, but like in big instances. So I was like, for a lot of for a lot of reasons, I don't believe in the public school system, and a lot of reasons I believe that for some people it can be good, but I believe deep down that this was the best choice I could have ever made for my first adult steps into my future. So that's kind of why I stayed. Is the great environment, the way that you guys were able to kind of let me do my own thing and then help when I needed help. Because for the most part, I really was able to just do it on my own and just came here for the environment and then the extra guidance. Because it was not. This is not only just like a GED. It feels almost like a place where we can be ourselves and talk about the things that we have going on. And I think that's what really not only made me stay, but made me want to come here more. You know.
Most definitely. Yes. Love hearing that. Um, Going on that thread, right? All the wonderful things, great things you could share about your experience with Si Se Puede Academy. But we're being realistic. There's always opportunity for growth. So, what are some opportunities that you would say Si Se Puede could improve on?
I think it's less of for me, more just like opportunities for others, just being able to make this a testing facility. Like, so other people who, let's say, can make the commute here, but can't make the commute to like Highline or the testing center kind of down the road or whatever. Like being able to just broaden that and also broaden the age range. Because I know there's some people who want to get their GED, but they're beyond like whatever 21 or whatever. And so I think that that will just come with time and you guys just pushing and lobbying to get things rolling, and then also just general like funding stuff. I think you guys are still pretty small, and that's just nothing against you guys. It's just gonna take more time to keep growing and growing. You guys are doing a great job. It's just those small things that you guys will get with time.
Yeah. Awesome.
So nothing. Everyone here is great. It's just more of like just the system that just needs time to grow with everyone else.
Yes. We definitely understand that portion of we're wanting to do a lot more than a first year program is prepared to
Capable
do.
of yet. But that's just it's with time.
Yeah, and it's all great feedback because I think it keeps in mind for us to like make sure that we have our directional star pointed to those things that you mentioned. So that's for sure.
Si Se Puede Academy is a youth education and empowerment program offered by El Centro de la Raza, a community organization. Si Se Puede Academy aims to support and inspire young people to achieve academic success, develop leadership skills, and become positive contributors to their communities, focusing on promoting cultural pride and fostering a sense of community among its participants. The program provides a range of educational services and activities designed to empower students and promote their personal academic growth. For the most up-to-date information on the program, I recommend visiting El Centro de la Raza's official website or following us on Instagram, ECDLR_Si Se Puede Academy. Once again, ECDLR_Si Se Puede Academy.
Okay. Next one is like we've done in the past with your learning plan. We're going to talk about goals. So first and foremost, wanting to look at a personal goal. What's a personal goal that you have set for yourself in this next month now that you've completed your GED?
I think moving, like getting the move done and then getting acclimated to my new home. Like we were talking about in our podcast, was just doing my cleaning rituals of like kind of smudging the environment, doing my ritual clean, and then getting the candles to make it smell nice. Because I am sharing a room with dogs, which I have no problem with. My sister's like, "Oh, we can move you into the RV, be in your own space," but I love dogs either way, and I need emotionally, I need to be in the house. It's more of it helps me feel more connected to the household, and if I am paying rent for the house and the room, I want to be in the house and be able to wake up with everybody, wake up with the family, wake up with the dogs, everybody.
Yeah.
So I think that's just going to be kind of a point of acclamation, is because the dogs do bark, they do like have their food bowls, and you smell all those smells or whatever. Just getting used to like all those tiny things, nothing that's going to like turn me off to the fact of like wanting to move. It's just those small things that are like you got to get used to, and just making it my own space, you know. And I think that's the biggest goal for me, is basically turning the space I have now with, because they're giving me a lot of stuff. They're giving me like this small little futon, this glass table, a bed, all the basic necessities to be happy. So it's just turning those into me and using what I already have and what they gave me into a space where I can feel happy, safe, and at peace in a sense. And I think that's just going to take a little bit of time to kind of. I think that's just going to come with time, and that's going to come with trial and error. Like I have a lot of wall art that I love and that I'm bringing with me, and it's just finding the right space for everything.
Yeah, and that makes sense because, you know, in terms of personal goals, that might be one of the most applicable ones, right? You're getting yourself situated in a new space, a new environment, and getting to create what it will look like to represent you best. So I think that's an excellent goal to make. And then going into professional goals, what would you say in the next month is your professional goal that you're working on?
Professional. So this is kind of a two-parter for me. So I'm gonna try to find a kind of like a short-term job. I'm gonna try to find somewhere quiet. I want to work in a bookstore, somewhere where I can feel a calmness. I've worked at a lot of very fast-paced, high-energy, very loud places, and I want to work somewhere more peaceful. That'd just be good for my mental health and also to help me focus on what I want to focus on. So the other half is just to continue writing a script for this short film that I've been working on for the past couple of months, and something that I'm not going to finish it, but something I want to make more headway in, and just kind of keep ironing it out until I've got a product that's so good it even impresses me. Like that's the goal, is just to keep cranking on that and to find somewhere where I can, preferably a bookstore, somewhere quiet where I can just work, keep my head down, and just get to A to B, and then kind of just focus on my passion.
Nice. Very good. And then, of course, it would not be a Si Se Puede Academy GED interview without questions about the GED, right? So the first one we have for you is taking you back on some more reflection, is how did you feel when you passed your first subtest? Take us back to that moment.
I mean, I think it was English. I think that was the beginning was nerve-wracking. I'm very strong in writing and reading and just all the essay stuff, but it was nerve-wracking because I didn't know what to do. I actually got lost on the way up to the testing center. And then even when I got in the building, I'm like, where do I go? Yeah. Thankfully, there was this nice guy who was he was taking the test because he was trying to be like a teacher or something for the GED. So he was able to help me get to where I needed to go. But it was just the unknown. So very, almost, I wouldn't say scary, but very nerve-wracking, very anxious. Even though I was very strong in writing and reading and all that, it was still it was uncomfortable because it's like you're in the unknown, you're in a testing center you've never been in before. You don't know, I haven't looked at this test with all these questions. It's like it's like an hour or two long. Like it was very nervous. And then when I got the scores back, that's when the relief is. Once you pass that test, then you're like, okay, this isn't that bad. And then even now, it's like for my last test, that was like, it was almost like I did my first test again, where it's like unknown. Like I was very scared was like, I can do this. And then I was able to squeeze out the passing grade, and then we're here now, you know?
Yes, sir. Love to hear that. Yes, I think it's a good point that you make, that, you know, the fear, that kind of nervousness and stuff can be there, but then once you're on the other side of the hill, that reminder that, like, I got this, I was capable, and, you know, I was doing this for a reason. So that's really good. Continuing on, knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell Jake on his first day at Si Se Puede Academy?
Everything's going to be all right. Everything is okay. You can do it. And if you can't do it yet, you have people around you that can help you. And no matter what, you've always got to believe in yourself.
Very good. Before we hop into the last question, because this kind of relates to the letter of self activity that you did, very small written, but I feel like sometimes less is more in terms of impact. I wanted to read you back what you wrote to yourself on your letter to self, because I read it myself this morning. I thought it was on point. So past Jake had this to say to you: hello, future me, you did it. Now you can start your adult life and start the real grind. You got this, just got to keep moving forward. So it sounds very similar to the response you gave just now, and I just felt like it was a really cool, like, note to see that, like, that's something that you had been thinking about since you started this process, and to where you are now. And with that being said, obviously this is just the next step before the next steps coming down the road.
Grind, yeah.
Exactly. What would you like help with next? How could we here at Si Se Puede continue to support you now that you've completed your GED?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head except for, instead of helping me, it'd be more of keep doing what you guys are doing to help others, because that would, if the biggest help you can do to me is to help others, because that's just going to, you know, no matter what, you doing what you guys do is going to make me feel better and put me in a better mood than you guys just kind of letting it go and then falling apart in the next year or two. You guys keeping on the grind, you guys continuing to do the good work you guys are doing and helping other people, and continuing so one day you're bigger than Highline, you're bigger than everyone else, and then you guys are like the premier GED and not even GED, but the biggest educators, like being the best you can be and making this program the best it can be for everybody, and not losing what you have in this first year of being a program, and being able to hold on to that. That's the only, that if you guys could continue to do that as you move forward, that's all you can do for me. It's just to continue to be you guys and to continue to grow and help other people.
I definitely feel like we can put that on our goals list for the upcoming year. Well, we appreciate you so much, Jake. Thank you again for taking the time. We wish you the best of luck. And for the final time, signing off.
Signing off. I'll see you guys around the bend.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Si Se Puede Academy is a youth education and empowerment program offered by El Centro de la Raza, a community organization. Si Se Puede Academy aims to support and inspire young people to achieve academic success, develop leadership skills, and become positive contributors to their communities, focusing on promoting cultural pride and fostering a sense of community among its participants. The program provides a range of educational services and activities designed to empower students and promote their personal academic growth. For the most up-to-date information on the program, I recommend visiting El Centro de la Raza's official website or following us on Instagram, ECDLR_Si Se Puede Academy. Once again, ECDLR_Si Se Puede Academy.